Welcome to Kadampa Podcasts. These podcasts offer practical solutions to daily challenges and help guide us to a happier and more peaceful state of mind. In each episode, you will find an extract from a teaching given by one of various Kadampa Buddhist teachers worldwide. All these teachings are inspired by the profound wisdom of Venerable Geshe Kelsang Gyatso Rinpoche, a Buddhist master for our time. We hope you will enjoy listening.
If we had a peaceful mind when our car breaks down, if we could just remain peaceful, imagine that miracle. Our computer breaks down. We've got an important assignment we have to do. The project's nearly finished. Computer crashes. Imagine just not getting upset. Imagine just going, okay, the computer's got a problem here, but I don't have a problem with it. We're much more likely and able in that situation to effect an external solution for the external problem. Right, we go find someone who knows something about computers or blah, blah, blah. We fix the external problem with a peaceful, creative, happy mind. We might even think, okay, this is a challenge. Let's do this. Let's see if I can fix this problem without creating an inner problem. The actual problem is the unhappiness in our mind created by these delusions. Worries, suffering, unhappiness, pain are states of mind. Unpleasant feelings, which are the actual problems of our life. And these are coming from our delusions, these distorted ways of thinking and believing. If we understand that, those states of mind, as powerful as they are, they're controlling us at the moment, but they have no physical properties. They are naturally arising from the mind, which we've understood at depth is clarity, is a formless continuum. So those thoughts, those minds, those distortions are just thoughts. What? All those emotions, all those powerful feelings, the storms of anger or uncontrolled desires and so forth, they are just thoughts, feelings, ideas within our mind, the nature of our mind, like clouds in the sky. But our actual mind is like the sky itself, vast, clear, and unobstructed. And all of these distortions are like clouds arising from within that clear sky, temporarily creating bad weather, but ultimately, where do the clouds come from and where do they go to? Have we ever wondered about that? Have you ever thought, where do clouds come from and where do they go to? Any answers? Cloud graveyards? Clouds just formulate due to particular causes and conditions, don't they? Pressure, temperature, humidity, whatever. Clouds appear within the clear sky. Even on a cloudy day like this, we understand that the sky itself is not the clouds. There's a clear canopy up there of sky. Because we know when we fly beyond the clouds, in an airplane. It's always a delight. I love it. I always think of this teaching when I'm flying. You've got the clouds underneath. You're above, and we see the clear sky and this shelf of clouds. And sometimes unbelievably beautiful, different shapes and forms, but just part of the sky itself. And when those causes and conditions for them to form disappear, when they change, so too do the clouds disappear. And they change, they eventually just disappear back into the vast expanse of the sky. This analogy is so powerful, which is why we've used the title this weekend. Because it's relating to our mind. If we can understand that although our mind right now is usually tormented by bad weather arising from these clouds of delusions, these emotional storms and turbulence and upset and bad moods and so forth, those minds themselves are not physical. They're not as solid as we think they are. You know, when we feel a feeling, it's so intense, it can be so powerful. It feels like it's actually physical. And maybe we can actually feel it in our body, in our heart area, in our guts. It's like it becomes visceral because there's a connection between the body and mind. But those thoughts are not physical in themselves, they are just thoughts. And with that understanding, this perspective of connecting to this pure potentiality of our clear sky mind, this vast empty-like space that's the nature of our mind, we understand then that all of our thoughts, all of our feelings, we experience them, they're valid enough, but if we understand the nature of them, we can let them go. We can let go of those unhelpful, unhealthy states of mind. Our worry, our unpleasant feelings, our unhappiness. We don't need to hold them. And instead, by just allowing them to disappear, not giving them energy, because we make them solid by giving them a lot of attention. Inappropriate attention is the fuel of these distortions. It brings them alive, it feeds them, it creates them. So if we don't give mental energy to these negative thought patterns, what happens to them? Just like clouds. They disappear back into our sky-like mind. They just have to disappear. There's no condition for them to remain. So they disappear. What happens to a thought when we don't think it? It doesn't go away and sulks and then comes back and attacks us or something. It has no power to do that. We empower our thoughts through our attention on them. And this is why Buddha is explaining so much about the mind, to empower us to attend to minds that we want to achieve, this pure, clear potential. We connect to that. We give that attention. We're thinking, that's who I really am, truly. And all of this negativity that's arising is just manifestations of bad weather within my mind. And if I just don't give that energy or attention, eventually that just dissipates. It has to, because it's got nowhere else to go. How cool is that? So it's so powerful. Practically, en route to discovering the nature of our mind directly, we are going to empower ourselves to connect to this purity, this profound peacefulness as who we really are. And anything else is an aberration. All negativity, all this pain, it's not really who we are. Don't identify with those negative states. but we're identifying with the clear sky mind. And it's not blue, okay? That's where the analogy stops. It's like the sky, it's like space, but it's got no colour, it's got no shape. It's just this vast, unobstructed expanse that is just pure consciousness, pure awareness, naturally, profoundly peaceful. And it's only through these clouds that we kind of disturb or obscure this peacefulness and clarity. And thus far in our life, that's kind of all we've known. We all kind of relate to and understand that our minds are filled with unpleasant feelings, suffering, worry, and we just take that as the norm and we identify with those states, thinking that's who I am. I'm just an unhappy person. I'm just an agitated person. I'm just an anxious person, and so on. So unnecessary, so unfortunate, because that's not the truth at all. That's just superficial levels of our mind. So in this meditation, now we're going to focus on that clarity, that mental spaciousness, and begin to, it's difficult at first. We're just like, we're never really looking in, unless for some of you, you're familiar and have trained a little. We're not used to this. We're always using our mind to look out, and we're looking at the objects of our mind. So this is a bit different. We're now looking at the mind itself and letting go of the objects, the things we're thinking about, and those thought patterns. We're just witnessing them. So we're just going to witness this stream of consciousness, this formless continuum of our mind, without engaging it, without really following those thoughts. That's the tricky part, because we get distracted. Thoughts come up and go, oh, that's quite a nice thought, and I'll just drift off and think about that. So this is a discipline. It's like, no, just let it go, just watch it, see it come up like a cloud in the sky, and just watch it dissipate.
If you feel inspired by this podcast, then dive deeper into timeless wisdom of modern Kadampa Buddhism by following the link in the episode description. We look forward to reconnecting with you in the next episode of Kadampa Podcasts.